Hi Aries. This week we're dealing with the Chiron energy, and the Chiron has to do with healing wounds, becoming a healer because you are healing your own wounds. You have a healing power, empathy, and ability to teach or learn remedies. So here with the spread that we have, and we'll get into the tarot very quickly, the heart chakra is coming through. And whatever toxic codependency, ways of being, temptations, a lack of vulnerability perhaps of your heart sometimes, wanting to be strong, you do have the angel of strength that came through. But what is being strong, Aries? Is being strong closing your heart, not wanting to go deep, not wanting to open, not wanting to be vulnerable? Or is it to have the strength to be vulnerable? You have men holding your heart that came just behind it. So here, perhaps you're finding how to be with an intimate relationship, a particular one especially, where how can you not let go of your sense of identity, of independence? You have the first chakra here, and stand your ground. How can you be an individual, strongly rooted? And how can you share love? How can you also be vulnerable at the same time? And here, by the way, number 22 and 33 are coming through strongly. The yin and yang card has to do with, it could be a twin flame energy here. It doesn't have to be, or a strong soulmate, where the equilibrium, finding the balance here within a relationship, within yourself, is crucial. Because only once you're able to find this balance in your life, perhaps a balance between work and love, time with your family, time with your friends, once you find this balance, the door to romance is open to you. You will have a key. But the key is this. And communication is coming through also. Are you able to communicate in a way that, yes, you express your needs, but you don't stay selfish, you don't stay closed off? Heart chakra. Temptations. So letting go here of whatever toxic behaviors you have carried through your life. By the way, I was talking about communication, but you did have Mercury, the planet of communication, writing, communicating, traveling maybe. This is coming through like the most important thing for you this week. Now, you could also have to deal with connections of the heart that are not intimate. It could be both, but it could also be with friends, with community. You have here the 11th house. Friends, social occasions. How do you deal with that? Maybe perhaps with your family as a whole. There's a sense here of wounds that will need to be healed within those relationships. And we see here the storm warning. That could be a tower moment, unexpected, or it could be just, a need to sail through some drama. With friends, perhaps within the relationship, things need to be looked at, but not to fear it, to stand your ground, but to, again, also allow yourself to see how solution can come through. As you communicate with truth, truthfully, you're definitely going through transformation. And the transformation we're seeing here has to do with you perhaps getting into more of a higher state of consciousness where you find unity. Unity within you, but also unity within the relationship, where it's not the other and you. Perhaps you can find a fusion here. The all-knower is coming through as well, calling through the unity card, which has to do with, bearing, this definite death process here, bearing all the different points of view of different people, perhaps, or friends that you thought were friends but are not friends. Perhaps you were betrayed. Perhaps you haven't been able to see clearly the truth of other people. But here, this is going to can't be caught. So, as you get into more clarity through the third eye, as you start to see things in a more omniscient way, right? Not in just within your own perception or within the perception of others. Once you're able to stay, have a step back here and see things with a bigger perspective, higher perspective, this is what is going to help you this week. Also, that will come through rest, through rejuvenation. Thank you, Mercury retrograde. And definitely this Mercury is here. So when it is retrograde also, it can have to do with when you're communicating with other people, people not understanding your point of view, or miscommunications also. So that can, you have to keep that in mind. But once you get into more of that rest, and we have so many planets in retrograde, that, that does call us to go into introversion, into review time. So make sure that all of that, what is happening here, allows you to find a deeper sense of you in an open way, right? Where you're not getting paranoid because you can't trust anybody anymore, because of whatever happened. But find a sense of safety within you that is real, that is from the heart, from the true heart, from a deeper sense of love within you and for yourself. All those sacrifices that you've made before, people pleasing, all of that, you're moving on from it, right? And you are choosing to go towards the light. And that is going towards a higher perspective, towards more light within you, within your life, perhaps choosing the right people, perhaps letting go of the wrong people. We have a lot of, skulls here. And all of those hands that were grabbing at you, now you kind of, finding the right boundaries, the right protection, but at the same time allowing yourself to open your heart, be more vulnerable in a particular relationship that is more intimate and that is truthful, right? So it's the two that are happening at the same time, yin and yang. So let's see what the tarot has to say for Aries, please. The Empress, right? Self-nurture. The Empress is the feminine energy of the Emperor. The Emperor is Aries. It's you, Pisces, I was going to say. You, Aries. So that could be significant, actually, because Pisces is very spiritual, and perhaps you are being inspired by a Pisces, or you are elevating yourself, and that is helping you along your healing, along your, whatever you need to go through when it comes to your social network. But here, the Empress is grounded, but also nurtures herself. There's unconditional love here for herself and for others. Not holding on anymore. You have Four of Pentacles in reverse behind. Not holding on anymore to the material, perhaps, aspect of things, or limited conservative views of things, or the views of other people. Letting go. You're learning to let go here. Aries, please. Maybe letting go of old habits, that you're healing right now. The Fool is underneath, so a whole new beginning here. Definitely a rebirth. Transformation for rebirth is happening. Seven of Pentacles, have patience. You're planting the seeds right now. Here you have the King of Cups and the Four of Cups. So the King of Cups, those were reversed, those two. So Four of Cups has to do with, you know, being, not seeing the cup of the divine, not seeing the beauty of what is available right now in your situation. But it looks like you are now getting out of that. You are seeing the reality for what it is. But there's a need for that, a need to slowly but surely get to a more stable emotional state, because the King of Cups in reverse can be that, like that, you know, a little bit like scattered or very extreme in its emotions, very passionate, right? Very fiery, like you can be, Aries, and it's beautiful. But here again, coming to the Yin Yang card, finding a better emotional balance here, and being patient with the process, right? Being patient with the process, because the rose is here, your heart is here. It's still, you know, there's a need for protection, but it needs to be, look, it cannot be watered if it is too protected either, right? So it will die if it stays in its own bubble. So there's a need here to get out there, to, in the sense of opening your heart in that particularly intimate relationship, right? Not closing yourself off in that way so much. And that's where we have this King of Cups that needs to really integrate its emotional states. You're planting the seeds right now. You are. Your heart is healing. So don't be afraid of this new beginning, I would say. I feel like there is a new beginning here in a particular relationship, and perhaps this Empress is this a feminine energy in your life that you really regard as the Empress, you know, like a pedestal. And so you want, you know, you're putting the seeds in, but you need to heal your heart in the process, right? You need to be able to open it up. Death is underneath. Definitely. There has to be this death process so that you can emerge. You know, the temptation devil energy before had to do also with all the fears that you have about particular love relationships in general, right? That can sometimes freeze yourself and feel like you're not able to move forward, take action. Yeah, he has his hand on his heart here, definitely. Your heart has been wounded, but you're healing that, Aries. Knight of Wands and Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, be your truth. King of Sword has to do with someone who speaks its truth, stands its own ground here. Knight of Wands, taking action, rushing in. Nine of Pentacles, toward your abundance. You need to know that you can make it. You know, if it has to do with your project, your business, work right now, perhaps you're starting over in your life, not just with love, but also with your mission, you will be successful. You know, this is Nine of Pentacles being successfully self-employed here. So you need to just rush in. You need to take action upon that and not be afraid, not feel like you can't do it. Perhaps you are not trusting, you know, the people you were working with before, and so now it's hard to start over. But here we have a strong King of Sword, and you have a Magician underneath. You can manifest whatever you'd like here. You have the Hangman. Change your perspective. It's just a matter of changing your perspective here on things. Perhaps there's a little bit of stagnation here in your work life, but just know that now you can manifest whatever you'd like. Okay? Just stand strong, stand your ground, stand in your truth, and you will be successful here. Okay? Don't give up on yourself, and definitely not on your heart. Alright? I love you, Aries. I wish you a beautiful week, and I'll see you next week. Take care.